Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this replay here on Desert Oasis. We wanted to make a quick note before I started up the replay again. We have Marines and Marauders pushing the expansion of HasuObs. A single Dark Templar here trying to fight back against this whole entire army. The Marines do have that combat shield upgrade, so the Dark Templar needs 2 hits in order to take down those units. So gonna go ahead and get this started. Here we go. Stalkers once again able to blink away and continue to this pressure. And now Stalkers blinking onto that high ground. Will that cooldown be enough? Those Marines and those Marauders trying to stim in, trying to get in position. And now a nice blink back. And now Stalkers onto that high ledge, continuing to fight. A single Stalker was able to get off one of those shells. Stalkers moving away. And losses-wise, really, HasuObs, what are those Marines shooting at? Losses-wise, BratOk taking more significant losses, so BratOk really able to consistently play better. A quick scanner sweep taking down one of those Dark Templars, and now those Stalkers continuing to dish out that damage onto some of those supply depots, blinking away. Once again, perhaps the Stalkers should try to get into this position as well and start taking down the refinery. The main base is now still being mined. There is a single Marine Marauder drop into the main base over here. Zealots now coming out in order to do a little bit of an engagement. Stalkers may be able to take down that medevac. That medevac trying to get a blink there. Down it goes, but the rest of the units have been dropped down. A single sentry now taking some Marine Gauss rifle fire. However, the Dark Templar was able to help finish that off. Still, BratOk just keeping his cool, playing very, very well. These supply depots in this position constantly getting destroyed, and now a supply depot with the additional supply drop as well. And now in comes a Stalker. Stalker's trying to focus down that Raven. However, Marauders were able to quickly get ahead of it. HasuObs now needs to blink away in order to get back that Raven in the air, able to offer sight to those Dark Templars. Stalker's now pulling away. HasuObs realizes that he cannot continue the same thing. It is not going to work. Zealots now being Zealot charge now being researched off of this 4-gate with the robotics facility. Income-wise, HasuObs is only slightly above BratOk, 700 versus 960. As BratOk has been continuing to do main drops into the main base here. Surprised that there isn't 1 or 2 photon cannons here in order to be able to press off this attack. Raven now, point defense drone, has that energy. No research for no research for that Seeker missile. So, but the point defense drone will be able to shut down the damage from those Stalkers. In come the supplied or a drop, and now Stalkers are able to quickly blink in, and a nice force field denying any landing for a lot of these units. Now onto that high ground, those Marauders were able to continue to fire and shoot up onto that high ground, but 2 of those medevacs were taken down, and I believe they were fairly full. Back over here, we have a single Observer and a single Dark Templar as more units continue to move on out. Wow, very, very even army. HasuObs sitting at 2,300 versus 1,950 income-wise. BratOk sitting at 1,100 versus Hobbs is 1,200 as he has this natural expansion now up and running. Also needs to get down some Vespene geysers in order to mine out some additional gas as well. BratOk now moving out with the rest of his army. The Marauders are upgraded 1-0. HasuObs still have not seen any real upgrades in any of his matches. These Zealots are now 0-0-0 across the board. A Raven in the air offering sight. I think that took down one of those, that single Dark Templar that was sitting over there. And BratOk just trying to produce as many units as possible. Stalkers may be able to blink up onto that high ground, and that is going to be absolutely huge. Why aren't they blinking? Come on, Hasu. Blink onto that high ground. That is just absolutely critical for you. You could have been able to at least take down some of those SCVs and dish out that damage. However, only three of those Stalkers are able to continue to fight. And now finally, a single Marine getting pushed in, and now those units are pulling back. There was plenty of time to blink in, focus down some Stalkers, and then pull back out. Just absolutely plenty of time. Finally, a missile turret being placed down by BratOk or BratOk in order to shoo off any observers into that position. Zealots and Stalkers now moving in, activating this single Xel'Naga Watchtower. Both players operating essentially off of a single base. HasuObs' natural base almost mined out as the main army now pushing over here. Gonna go ahead and shoot down that missile turret, also taking down one of those SCVs. Marauders and Marines may come in, and in comes this army once again, able to get off one concussive shell. The main army of BratOk is not in that base, so may be able to come around the side and perhaps push. There is a single Dark Templar here though, so HasuObs will be able to figure out what exactly is happening, and he will be able to see this army coming in from the north, and down it goes. Down goes that single Dark Templar, not even activating the Xel'Naga Watchtowers. That probably would have been a better use. Single pylon now in the middle of the map. We also have High Templars with the Psystorm now finished researching, and more Zealots being warped in. However, I do not think that HasuObs will be able to come back from behind and take down this whole entire army. He really needs to start chrono boosting these gateways in order to reduce their cooldown time. Does he still has plenty of energy on his natural expansion nexus, and he should also be trying to get some additional research upgrades on some of those units. A single Immortal coming in and quickly getting taken down by the Stim army. Templar Archives now taken down, so no additional Psystorm or no additional units will be able to be warped in. Medivacs, nice dropping of a force field, so this army now coming in, it's going to end up being a base race. Command center now being taken down over here. We have pylon, and we have observers being placed down all around throughout the map. Observer here, probes now being able to scamper away as there's an engagement here. EMP Shockwave dealing so much damage, and I think that's going to be game. And losing so many of those units here. Marines continuing to offering that fire. SCVs being the meat shield for this whole entire attack. Zealots trying to engage, and now we also have Archons being warped in, so those Archons will be able to dish out that damage onto that main base. Marines and Marauders now pushing into the main base here. Both sides suffering heavy casualties. HasuObs, however, able to get a nexus here. He should start trying to warp in some additional units off of these gateways. He still has 3 gateways. Don't know why he's not warping in units, trying to keep that production up. Any additional, he's going to have to rebuild every single one of those gateways. And BratOk now losing a lot of his production units as well. Single Immortal still has some of those shields, now focusing down some of these factories as well. Why isn't he warping in units? Yeah, HasuObs, okay, he was able to warp in several units at the very last moment. Also has a couple probes over here. Should probably try to build a nexus back over here. As this fight continues, in comes the Archon. Archon using Archon now taken down, so only Zealots and Stalkers trying to fight off into this position. Things not looking good. Zealots trying to run into here, unable to take down the production buildings, and the army of BratOk sitting at 3,000 is just going to be simply too much. BratOk with 1-1 upgrades on his Marines and his Marauders with his Ghost, and that may be the end of it. Zealots now hurrying back to try to defend this natural expansion, but HasuObs realizes that he no longer has the production in order to keep up with BratOk, and that is GG. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a fight coming in from HasuObs. BratOk does have the barracks and does have the factories and the starports, but he has absolutely zero income at this time. I guess he's just concerned about the 3,000 mineral army that BratOk is currently sitting on. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this set of 4 games between HasuObs and BratOk.